Okay, I think everything is working. I'm just checking the sound before we get going because we have had sound issues a few times in the past. It sounds to be okay. We're running Say Intentions today in the background. I'll give a full briefing of what we're up to in a moment. I'm going to make sure we're on the radio check channel so we don't hear anything untoward while we're talking and looking around. So, welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to be online for a few hours. We're going to fly from Sadefjord, or ENTO, or Torp as the airfield's called, and fly north across the southern part of Norway. So if we go and have a look on the map and go and show our route. There we go. So we're going to be departing Torp near Sadefjord, and then we're going to fly over to Notodden and then go cross country all the way over to Haukasen and then Anda and then into Vigra. So I guess the important thing here is each of the airfields we are visiting are the Orbx versions of those airfields, and they are specifically the 2024 versions of the airfields. So, without further ado, I've got the drone camera up and running already. So this is the airplane we're going to be using, the Cessna CT210 Turbo. I think it was developed by Carenado, and it's available obviously in the marketplace for 2024, so we'll be using this airplane en route. We've got live weather. We may not leave the live weather on, depending on just how inhospitable the weather becomes. As you can see with the live weather in Norway at the moment, it's pretty difficult, let's put it that way. So we've got snow everywhere, it's pretty cold, and we'll miss out on some of the beautiful scenery if we leave it in that way. So should we do that now actually? Let's go and chop the weather back and put it on custom weather, and maybe take the live weather off and put it on few clouds maybe for today, so we get to see the wonderful countryside along the way. Okay. So, Brian's from northern Norway in the live stream. This is going to be interesting, isn't it? Because I don't have much regional knowledge of Norway, so for those that know these airports, it's probably going to be quite interesting for them to say, oh, yep, that's done accurately, or they've missed this, or just if we go and have a look, the signage and the painting of the taxiways and stuff at Torp looks really good. So we're just going to scroll down through the airport slowly. You can see with Say Intentions is simulating the traffic, so we've got aircraft going out towards the runways and taxiways. So we'll let them get on with that. We'll maybe go and have a look around some of these hangars that are open, go and look at the terminal building. That's very cool, isn't it? It's got the gantry there around the tail to service the tail assembly. Okay, let's carry on around then. So the signage all looks very good as well. So this is the main terminal building at Torp. So if we come down, you can see some of the interiors have been modelled, so we'll go and have a little nosy around. We'll go around the outside first. So I guess looking at the main road entrance into the airport, yeah, the textures aren't wonderful here and there. We'll have a look at this. Now, is this just the scenery from the simulator not loading in, or is this just that it is a low resolution texture? It looks like it might just be a low resolution texture for that part. To be honest, I don't really mind when the the scenery isn't that high resolution, as long as it doesn't affect the simulator too much. And I know it's a balancing act, and you see some sceneries where they go completely over the top. You know, they've got hundreds of thousands of people all over the terminals and things, and you think, why? You're never going to see this. You know, okay, it's nice to go and have a look now and again, but you're going to look once and never look again. You're more interested, for operational reasons, in the layout of the airport to make sure that's accurate. Okay, let's go and have a look inside the part that's modelled. I guess we should come through the doorway, shouldn't we? So we are crew today. So you can see it's not the highest resolution inside the terminal. Or not everywhere anyway. Let's go around the side. It's pretty good though, isn't it? So what are the people... I know there's different sets of models that different developers use. Yeah, these are like the lower resolution ones. So let's go down further along. This is pretty cool, isn't it? So I did have this airport in 2020 back in the day, and I think it's pretty much a port of it, but areas of it have been improved and the textures increased, but I think that's mostly on the outside where it matters. So you can see there's more interior areas that have been modelled here and there. And again, they're the ones that you would see from the airside. So it just gives you some interest to see as you're taxiing or, you know, parking at a gate, for example. Okay, so that's the main terminal building. Let's go and carry on down to our aeroplane then that we left parked in the GA parking down the far end of the airfield. And we'll get in the air and have a look at it from overhead. Just looking over here, is that what it looks like parked up? Oh my word, there's a museum here. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know, apart from obviously the aeroplane on the end, we all know what that is, but I'm not sure about the others. That's interesting. I'm guessing they're early Saabs of some description. But then there's the Lockheed Starfighter on the end. Okay, here's our aeroplane for the day. As I said, the Cessna 210 Turbo. Let's go and jump back out of the... Yeah, there's some loading issues going on with the simulator today. Look how long that's taking to stream this aeroplane in. Anyway, we'll go outside, and of course now the Xbox controller is going to start drifting on us. And we'll remove the covers. And remove the chocks. And I think it's just the pitot covers to remove now. That's that done. Just check around. No engine covers, no. Nothing on this side. So Shift and C puts us inside the cockpit. Yeah, it's all loaded in now, look. So batteries, oh, let's, before we do the batteries, let's just check. We'll go and check how much fuel we've got. Mass and balance. Fuel, we'll give it a bit more. Load. Load immediately. Okay, so we've put it on both tanks. Cowl flaps are open. Alternator and battery on. Beacon light on. Mixture to rich. Make sure my controls are working. Okay, so crank the throttle open. And then Okay, I'm just going to check the volumes to make sure you're not being completely drowned out by the aeroplane. It looks to be okay, doesn't it? It's quite noisy, but it's withstandable. Whoops. So, nav lights on. And then we don't need pitot heat just yet. We don't need the lights on in the cockpits unless I need A now because we modified the weather. Avionics power on. Let's go and turn. We've got a weather radar in this aeroplane, so that's the test mode. We'll leave it on standby for the moment. Just waiting for the GPSs to come up, go and calibrate the altimeter. Got the engine running at, yeah, there's the RPM and the manifold pressure. So we just run it up at 1000 RPM. So we should, and I say should, be able to go in here, go in the flight planner and open, load from web. So we've got the flight plan already set up in planner.flightsimulator.com, so there we go. And I should be able to send this straight across. I'll wait for the GPS to come up before I do it. So yeah, the 210 has a turbo. I'm just reading the live stream comments. So it's got quite a lot of power. Let's go and put the distance measuring equipment on. Go and put the transponder on standby. Still waiting for the GPS to go capture the satellites. It's accurately reflecting just how slow they used to be. Won't be long. He says, famous last words. Here we go, look, it's picking up satellites. There we go. So we should be able to send this to the avionics. And there we go, the route has appeared. Excellent. That saves us some work. Okay, so we do have a little label here to remind us we are X-Ray Golf Sierra today. Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra. Okay, let's go talk to the tower. We'll go and put our taxi lights on. So taxi and landing lights. And we won't put the strobe on just yet. Or the pitot heat, we'll do that when we're on the runway. Sounds good, doesn't it? So we have got cowl flaps down there, as you can see. And yeah, the lights are all working nicely. And it's going to do that annoying thing, look, flip-flopping between the external and interior views with it restreaming things. Anyway, we won't get too hung up about that. Let's go for tower then. And go and refresh our memory of where we are. So we're here. Actually, we can see this on Navigraph a little bit more clearly.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, welcome to Torp. Contact ground on 126.18.
Contacting ground 126.18. Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra. That's interesting. They actually reached out to me once I had the engine running. That's fascinating. So let's go and put head tracking on as well. Make sure that's working nicely.
X-Ray Golf Sierra Torp Tower. Contact ground 126.18.
So let's go and see what they're calling themselves. Yes, Torp. So which runway do we think they are using today? Oh, it's a crosswind, so we'll let them tell us. Of course, because I turned the live weather off, and of course, Say Intentions won't know that. I'm going to go back to live weather for that very reason. Okay. Torp ground, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, requesting taxi to a runway for departure. got 4 knot wind, so they're going to go runway 36, aren't they?
That's X-ray Golf Sierra, runway 18, taxi via Alpha, hold short of runway 18.
Taxi to runway 18 via Alpha, hold short runway 18, Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra, thank you. So the easiest way then is probably to go all the way around, isn't it? Because Alpha, let's have a look at the proper chart. Taxi via Alpha, but Alpha doesn't go, Alpha's just a bit up there. Interesting. So we need to cross, so I'm going to go left. Go via Whiskey 2, Charlie, and then along Yankee. Because it gives us the shortest crossing. And it gives us a chance to have another look around the airfield. It's really nicely done, isn't it? Ground, Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra requesting permission to cross runway 36.
Approaching runway 36.
Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra, cross runway 36.
Crossing runway 36, X-ray Golf Sierra. And he's going to go straight through us. Playing with the brakes and trying to understand where the bite point is on them, and yeah. So let's get the pitot heat on, start warming up the pitot tubes. So you can see where the investment has gone in terms of textures, can't you? The taxiways are really nicely done. Okay, coming down to the holding point for runway 18. let's go and get the landing lights on.
Approaching runway 18.
Strobes on. We don't need the anti-ice on, I don't think yet. Let's go and put the transponder to... Oops. I'm going to go and have a close look at the transponder to see what the buttons are on this particular model. So yeah, we want out mode, don't we? And is it going to be 1200? This part of the world probably is, isn't it? And let's go. Should we put the weather radar on as well? It seems to work. Okay, let's go and switch over to tower. Torp Tower, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra holding short, runway 18.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra, Torp Tower, runway 18, winds 020 at 3, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 18, copy weather, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra. We've just gone and recalibrated the altimeter because obviously we changed the weather a few minutes ago.
Approaching runway 18.
So we're at 300 feet above sea level here. Trying to hold it on the center line, it's being a bit squirrely. Okay, now we're in the air as well, we can close the cowl flaps. So we are slick now, and raise the flaps. And landing lights can go off. So Brian is asking me in the live stream, oh, am I going to the FS weekend? Unfortunately not. I did talk to my other half about it. The big problem I've got this year is I've used all my holidays up in one go from work in September because it's our 25th wedding anniversary. So we're going on a month-long cruise, which has kind of chewed all of my holiday in one go. So I only have like a few days left for the entire year. It is tempting, and I'm still thinking about it. Okay, what happened to the engine? Oh, I think there was a problem with the sim there, wasn't there? This is how quiet it should have been all along. It was far louder than it should have been. So there's the airfield we've just departed. That's Torp, or Sadefjord. Okay, so if we go around the back of the airport now and we'll carry on out towards our first waypoint of our route. Climbing up to 2,500 feet, that's probably good for the moment.
Lima, November, Bravo, Alpha, wind 020 at 3, runway 18, cleared for takeoff.
So I'm just turning us
cleared for takeoff, Lima, November, Bravo, Alpha.
across the track. So if we go for autopilot on and altitude hold, and I think on this version, I'm just going to turn off the head tracking for a moment. I think we can do this. Yeah, we can do it quickly, look. So we can just say go for heading hold at the moment. Okay, let's have a look at our routes. So if we go and we'll pull this back to the first page of the page group, which gives us the radius. We'll push this one to show the data. So we get 37 miles to our next waypoint, 13 minutes to get there at the speed we're doing. Get rid of the message. And the weather radar is lit up like a Christmas tree. Okay, so we are heading off to, let's have a look at the map. We're on our way towards ENNO. And if we go and have a look on the little nav map, this gives us a bit more information than the other one. So Notodden. So we're just converging on the GPS route. What is the track? 301 degrees. So if we spin this round to 301, then it gives us a bit more of a visual indication of what's going on in terms of the GPS. We could go and switch to nav mode, and it should. Yeah, it's going to, because we're on a converging course, it's going to come into it and then turn right onto the course. So just looking at the charts, we should be good now. We need to go 3,000 feet to clear the hills. So let's go and set this up on the autopilot and then press Alt. That's interesting, that's broken. It's not showing the markers for the pitch, or showing pitch rather than... Oh, you have to use vertical speed here, I see. It's a bit broken. So we want to get to 3,000 feet. Interesting, so it has a separate pitch control. And that's wrong as well. There we go. Oh no, it's showing me the... Oh, okay, I get it. It wants this for the pitch. Yeah. Each implementation of these in all the different aeroplanes is always slightly different. In the real world, there's only a couple of models on them because I went and read up on it. So it's the developers that have implemented these have done it wrong countless times. And Carenado are among the worst. Black Square are correct in theirs. You know, in the way that it works. So let's see if it winds out the... Is it actually going to need me to arm it, or is it... No, it's winding it out. Look, I didn't even arm the altitude, and because they haven't implemented arming it. Anyway, have we got any beacons we can... Let's go and tune into the VOR beacon 11385 just to see that we can do that. So we should see, of course, not on nav 2 though, not on nav 1 because we're showing the GPS. Let's see if nav 2 will do it. So 11385, switch over, and is it going to work or not? Doesn't look like it, does it? Oh, it's because it's showing GPS as well. So you'd have to, let's put ourselves on heading bug then, So let's go and align the heading bug, the direction we're going. Put heading mode on the autopilot, and then we can change the CDI mode. So yeah, there we go. Then that one hasn't. Oh, you have to do it independently, I guess. Yeah. So then, if we were to go to 300, we'll be flying directly away from the VOR. There we go. Look. Same on this. We're flying from on the course of 300. And we're coming out of the weather at some point, hopefully. I wonder if it's showing on Navigraph. If we pop the weather open, show cloud cover at 3,000 feet. Oh, it's, yeah, you can see this is that band we're coming into here. So we'll be right in the thick of it when we're trying to land at Notodden. Okay, let's go and tell Torp that we're leaving their airspace. Torp Tower, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, leaving your airspace.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, say again.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, we are leaving your airspace.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, say again, please.
We are leaving your airspace. Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, say again, please.
Okay, they can't hear us. Probably because of the weather. So let's go to the Common Traffic Advisory frequency. We could get centre, I suppose. Well, should we have a listen into centre? See if we can hear much. We could request flight following as well, seeing as we are... Although, I don't really want to play games with flight following because we're not going to be doing a conventional flight plan. We're going to be stopping at each airfield. And this is getting quite dicey, isn't it? Do you know, I may go for another 1,000 feet, just for safety's sake. I know we can see here, but we're almighty close to this hill. Let's go for another 1,000. It's working. Do you know, I am going to turn the weather off because otherwise you don't get to see anything. So, okay, it's fun from the academic point of view of flying a difficult route. Or do we leave the weather on? I'm really on the fence about this. I don't really mind. I guess this makes it more eventful, doesn't it? Flying with weather. And you get the weather radar and... So yeah, maybe it makes it more fun. And it's more realistic, I suppose. So we're coming into Notodden, and if we look on the comm radios, they don't have a controlled airfield. But we are going to stop here, park up, and go and have a look around. Yeah, so people in the live stream are saying, leave the live weather on, it's more fun. Yeah, you're right, it is. It's funny, I often do group flights, and I always leave the live weather on group flights, especially with the big airliners, and quite often it will be a night flight because they'll fly somewhere in Europe, and the only time I get to really fly on the simulator in the week is late at night. So yeah, I invariably am flying night flights in awful weather. So I'm kind of, that's my norm, if that makes sense. But when you're flying IMC, as long as you know the instruments work, it really doesn't make any difference to you what's happening outside. Obviously, strong crosswinds become an issue with small aeroplanes. How are we doing? We are about 12 miles out from Notodden. They have got a... oh, we might need this then. So, and it does support the wind direction as well. 110.7 and 110 degrees. Let's go do that. So 110.70. So we're going to use the ILS just in case the visibility is awful. And the runway direction, let's stop this from retracking itself, is, we said 110 degrees, didn't we? So we're going to change the course. So then we can use this as ILS. We're in VLOC mode, so it will reflect it. So at the moment we're flying directly for the airport, so it will appear on the GPS, but we get to do our approach properly. So here's that hill that I wanted to climb the extra 1,000 feet to clear. Okay. Lovely weather, isn't it? Get the deck chairs out. Should we increase the range on this a little bit? So what's the name of this lake that we're just about to pass over? It's right, okay, so it's right on the end of the lake. That gives us good visibility of what we're doing here. And what's the elevation of the airfield? 61 feet above sea level. Okay, so here's the lake. So down in this corner, in the worst of the murk, we should find an airfield. So we'll overfly, fly past it, sort of 4 or 5 miles, then turn in and come in on the ILS. And then we'll have a look around with the drone camera. Yeah, it's going to be very, very low visibility, isn't it?
Approaching runway.
So this is 5 mile range. Caution. We're not going to see it from overhead, are we? I wonder about if we go for the outside view, will that show us it? Oh, there it is, look. So yeah, we are going to need the ILS then. Who knows, it might be a little bit clearer closer to the ground. We'll find out in a moment. And of course, we could just do a really tight approach if we really wanted to. And just do a visual, because we can see it, so it's not like we can't see it. But no, half the fun is using ILS though, isn't it? So let's go and switch the autopilot off. This is me now. So we'll drop down a couple of 1,000 feet over these fields, and then turn about and line ourselves up on the ILS, hopefully. 110.7, let me just double check that against the map. 110.7, 110 degrees. Okay. Okay, let's start descending. Get the landing lights on. And the taxi lights. If I get the speed down, then the gear should come down and the lights will all be on already. So the speed's coming off slowly. We can obviously side slip to expedite that if we so wish. Oh, it doesn't side slip wonderfully. So we can see the localizer has come alive. Is it just a localizer? I think it might be. Yes, it is. So I put the gear down, we'll give us some drag. You can see the speed coming off now. Okay, here comes the localizer. It's an offset ILS, we need to be mindful of that. So we're on the beam. We've got visuals anyway, look. So we don't necessarily have to follow the beam, we can see the runway.
Approaching runway 12. Caution! Caution!
Notodden traffic. Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra approaching runway 12 for full stop landing.
Cessna Alpha, Sierra X-Ray Golf. Sierra, Polaris Control, Notodden traffic, runway 12 in use, left circuit. No landing clearance, contact tower or use CTAF for landing.
Okay, they're telling us to use CTAF. I left the center frequency on by accident there. That was quite interesting, wasn't it, how they responded? Now notice the road. This is a famous thing about this airfield. It has a road across the runway. So we're going to have a look at that with the drone camera in a moment.
Approaching runway 30.
This is a really nicely done airfield, isn't it? So I'm going to just park somewhere out of the way because we're not going to stay. Okay, and I'm going to leave the engine running. So Shift and X will give us the drone camera. Let's go and have a look around, shall we?
Polaris Control, KLM 36 X-ray, flight level 170. KLM 36 X-ray, radar contact.
So to give this its kind of, to make it look nice, we're going to go and remove the weather for a moment. So we'll go and take live weather off, put some few clouds on or something, just so we can have a look around and see it actually modelled as it should look in the summer. It's really good, isn't it? There's a glider hangar here, look. Or storage, I should say. Some sort of retail park. Another hangar. Let's go and have a nosy around. Or is it just a building? Looks like a building. Oh no, it is a hangar. Scandinavian aircraft. So we've got the main tower. Has it got an interior? No. Service hangar. Oh, there's an engine hanging out in midair here, look. Very cool. The level of detail that some developers go to is crazy, isn't it? Look at the view if we were to come out of here in the summer, it would look amazing, wouldn't it? And there's the seaplane docks. They're amazing, aren't they? They've done it really nicely. Oh, I say that and then, oh no, actually it's okay. But yeah, this one looks like it's sunk. Maybe he has an issue with his floats. But yeah, the road is a real feature of the real airport. It's kind of famous for it, apparently. Let's go back and have a close look at this road where it crosses the runway. I'm guessing if there's something big coming in, then they close the road. Yeah, you can see, look, there's automated crossing controls.
Polaris Control,
I'm guessing that
Nordic
staff will come out
Charlie,
and
flight level 170.
pull this back.
Nordic 36 Charlie, radar contact.
Okay, let's go and move on to the next airfield. It's quite a long stretch across the scenery to find the next one. There's our little aeroplane. So Shift and X will put us back inside. And let's go and make sure we're not transmitting on the wrong frequency this time, hey. So back onto CTAF. Straighten the view up.
Approaching runway 30.
Is there anybody on the runway? Don't think so. Can't see anybody, and I've heard nobody announcing they're approaching, so let's go put the strobe back on and the landing lights back on. Should have really had the cowl flaps open while we were on the ground. We'll go and do it now. Better late than never, hey. If you're not moving with the aeroplane, it just increases the airflow through the engine. So we should have enough runway to take off over the lake. We'll do this without the weather, just so you get to see the pretty view as we depart. 40 knots. 60 knots. And rotate. Just had enough room. Gear up. There's boats and everything. Look, it's very cool, isn't it? Really nicely done. So I'm guessing, looking at this, that the scenery actually extends out to these docks as well, because this is not standard scenery. Okay, let's go and close the cowl flaps. And put the live weather back on. Now we've had a little look at what it really looks like in lovely weather. And then we get our horrific weather back. Okay. So we're heading back towards the GPS track, so let's go and change the CDI mode back in a moment. Fly back over the airfield, climbing as we go. So we're going back on the heading bug, which is fine. So autopilot on, heading mode. We'll go to 4,000 feet to begin with, so we go vertical speed. And 500 feet a minute, which is good. Oh, it should be doing that. Let's go and have a quick look. Yeah, I think it is. Vertical speed 500. There we go. So we're just climbing back out, and then yeah, we're going to switch this to GPS mode and go nav on the autopilot, which will make us turn right. We'll change the course to the direction we know we're going, which is 324 degrees, just so we get a visualization of it. Okay. Oh, we can take the landing and taxi lights back off. And we're off on our way again. So looking at the nav map, we need to climb out, yeah, to 6,000 feet to be safe. Just to clear these hills on this leg. Obviously we've got no visual indication that there are hills in front of us, which is why it's nice to have the maps. Okay, so 6,000 feet is our target. Just carrying on at 5,000 feet a minute. We could see if we can expedite that, I guess. Let's keep an eye on the speed.
Hawksun traffic, Lima November Victor Oscar uniform taxiing to runway 28, Hawksun.
Just keeping the RPM and the manifold pressure within limits. But you can see the speed is dropping off. It's not going to hold this. Oh, look, it's turbulent in the air mass. We're being moved around. Also, as we climb up through 3,000, we'll have to start leaning the engine out. Again, this is a Carenado aeroplane though, so they don't tend to be wonderfully accurate in that regard. But we'll start to do it. We can just watch the RPM to see if the mixture affects it. So we're okay for the moment. Let's increase the RPM slightly. Okay, so we are okay climbing at about 700 or 800 feet a minute. This is an add-on airfield. These are all add-on airfields we're looking at today. I just saw the live stream comments. I can't remember how much the 210 is, the aeroplane. It's in the marketplace anyway. It's not very expensive, and none of these airports are very expensive either. In UK pounds, they come in at about £10 to £12 each. So we've just seen, we took off from Torp near Sadefjord, and then we went to Notodden, and the next one after flying across the countryside is going to be Haukasen, and then on to Anda, and then Vigra. So these are all available as 2024 specific airports from Orbx. So let's go and throw this in as 6,000 feet on here so we get a visualization nicely. Yeah, I don't believe that. I think that might just be a lack of data. Because if you look along here, this is all of these hills. There's just a lack of data there. So that's going to be dangerous, isn't it? So as we, maybe we'll climb out of the top of this cloud. If we went up to say 8,000, should we go for flight following and go and ask for a higher altitude? Let's go and talk to Centre. Centre, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra requesting flight following.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, squawk 6251 and ident.
Ryanair 239, request to stop. Ryanair 239, or say request. Request to stop.
It was 6251, wasn't it? Yeah. Are they going to come back to us? Centre, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, squawking 6251 for flight following. Let's see if we can
Cessna X-Ray
kick
Golf
them.
Sierra, contact Polaris Control on 127.255 transponder, 7,000.
Contacting Polaris Control 127.255 Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, squawk 7723 and ident for traffic service.
So yeah, they've messed that up, haven't they? 77, it was playing catch up, I guess. So if we go over to Polaris. Polaris Control, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra with you, climbing to 6,000 feet. We're already at 6,000 feet.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Polaris Control, climb 6,000, QNH 1026.
QNH 1026, X-Ray Golf Sierra. Just so they know exactly where we are, or we're at the altitude we claim to be. So we've just gone and corrected that. In fact, I pressed comma and it hasn't done it wonderfully. Let's go 26 is about there.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, contact Polaris Control on 120.38, transponder 7,000, bye-bye.
Contacting Polaris Control 120.38, X-Ray Golf Sierra. So we need to go to 7,000 on the transponder. I wonder why they're changing frequencies on us. Polaris Control, X-Ray Golf Sierra with you at 6,000 feet.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Polaris Control, pass your message.
We don't really have a message. Polaris Control, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra. We are flying cross-country to Haukasen onto Vigra, just requesting flight following.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, traffic service approved. Squawk 5141 and ident.
should come back to us. See if we can prompt them. Squawking 5141, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra. Maintain VFR altitudes.
Maintaining VFR altitudes, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra. Okay, so we are coming out of the weather slowly, which is really useful. And if we have a look around with the head tracking. Always a break in the weather anyway. There's more horrific weather ahead. Bring the power and the RPM back down a little bit. We don't need to be pushing on quite so hard. Okay, how are we doing on the route? So we are about, yeah, we've got a few minutes to get to Haukasen, which should be saying on the GPS actually, so 30 minutes estimated time en route. So I'm going to take the opportunity to go and grab a cup of coffee. Look at that valley. It's incredible, isn't it? In fact, while we're doing this cross country, shall I go turn the weather off so you get to actually see some of this beautiful scenery? So live weather, if we go few clouds and we advance this into later into the year, you actually get to see just how stunning some of this scenery is. And we'll put live weather back on, obviously, when we get to the next airfield to see it in its true guise. Actually, just out of interest, we've got this flying along. Let's go and flick that back again. How much do you miss out on? Yeah, you miss all that scenery, don't you? Let's leave it then in the middle of August, so you get to see the top of the southern end of Norway, I should say, because if you look on the map, Norway is an enormously long country. So we're just crossing the southern tip. But look at this, it goes all the way up towards the... Some of these airfields up here are amazing. So yeah, Hammerfest is an awesome airport. Tromsø, obviously. So the ones with blue dots, I've downloaded a CSV file into Little Nav Map available from FlightSim.2, which tells you the airports that have had special work done on them by Microsoft or Asobo. Excuse me. So Leknes, for example, has actually got a nice airfield there for free. And so has this little one down here. And so Mo i Rana. Anyway, I'm going to leave us flying cross-country at 6,000 feet. And I'm going to go make a coffee. And I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back. Have we had any calls from... No. Should put live weather back on and see how horrific it really is. Can I show the map again with the enhanced Lofoten blue dot? I don't understand what you mean by Lofoten blue dot. Oh, the enhanced airfields, yes. So what I've done is in Little Nav Map you can go and import a CSV of user points. If you go and search FlightSim.2, some people have amassed the more detailed airports that come with 2024 as a CSV file that can be imported into Little Nav Map as user points. So then you see them all as these blue dots. Okay, so if we go and look in here, and if I go, you can do a user point search as well. There's the list, look. So those are all of the airfields that have been enhanced within the simulator. Or the ones that at least that have been found so far by users. So you get, obviously you can import it in and you see them as blue dots, so there's a filter somewhere around here for user points. Because you can clean the user points as well, look, it will remove them all. It's up here, isn't it? There we go, all user points. So I'm guessing, you look in here, what's a blue dot? Oh, actually, there it is, look, they're all marked as other. But you could obviously modify that CSV to modify them and call them different types. So you'd have, you know, airports or whatever as little black airports. Yeah, it's quite a nice way of doing things. So there's an Iceland Air plane over to our right at 11,000 and climbing. Wonder where he's going. Scandinavian over there. I've turned the level of air traffic down a little bit in Say Intentions. We could turn it up. I'll show you where we can do that. So within Say Intentions, in its settings page, you can go into traffic injection. So I've turned it down to 7. If we go and turn this up to 10, and we can actually turn this up even further if we really want to. And then when we look in here, you'll see over the next few minutes more aeroplanes will turn up on the map. See, they've disappeared at the moment. It's refiguring out what to inject in around us. So we'll see other aeroplanes turn up. It takes it a minute or two to figure out, you know, what you should be seeing and to inject them back into the simulator, because they come in as AI aircraft. So just give it some time and we'll see a load of traffic turn up. In fact, what we could do that will work in concert with that is in the GNS 530 you can go to the, here we go, the ADSB settings. So then if we go and press the button on this, roll that to on, and press enter, and then increase the range on it. As soon as the AI aeroplanes appear, you'll start to see them on here. And you'll also see them on here as well. Just give it a moment. Say intention sometimes takes a while, you know, to make the AI planes turn up. Can be a few minutes. So I'm being asked, do we really not need Navigraph? The real benefit I get from Navigraph is the plates. Obviously for VFR flying that doesn't really count for much. But when you're talking in terms of the big airports, so say we went and go for EGSS, which is Stansted for example, and whoa, how did I manage that? Oh look, I found a new trick by accident. So say we're looking at Stansted. Obviously there are lots and lots of charts for Stansted. So you can look at the, you know, the taxi charts for example, there's airport briefing documents and all the rest of it. Stands and coordinates, which for some aeroplanes becomes important. There's an aerodrome chart. But the more important thing for Navigraph is things like the standard instrument departures, for example. So, and you can overlay those onto the map and change them so they're partially see-through. Yeah, and they've got all the constraints and everything very clearly written. The trick being though, that's Navigraph. If you look in the aeroplane in here, and we go and have a look, yeah, you can see, look, I've got KSFO marked at the moment to see the charts for it, which is San Francisco International. Purely because I had an instrument flight a setup to do the other day, I didn't get around to doing it. But you've got the Lufthansa charts built into the simulator, which are broadly analogous to the Navigraph charts. They're the same kind of thing, they're just laid out differently. So you've got SIDS and stars and airport layouts built into the sim really, but only for the bigger airports. The Lufthansa don't cover little regional airports, which is a bit of a shame. So we can close that for example, and we can go, I can never remember how this works. We got ENTO for example, runways, yeah, so this is just the data, but it's not the charts. So ENTO showed up here, look, there's the charts for it, so yeah, okay, we have got them. So we can see we've got the airport facilities chart. So it's pretty, oh that's showing San Francisco, that's bizarre isn't it? So this is not without its issues I guess. ENTO, Torp. Why was it showing us? There we go, it's working now. Sadefjord. So yeah, you can have all these nice charts as well that are built into the simulator. We need to look where we're going. There's a sodding great hill right in front of us. So much for, remember I said it looked like the scenery wasn't complete. We can either do this, I'm going to go by hand. Okay, let me just go and press get head tracking working. So yes, in Navigraph is nice in that it integrates with lots of different aeroplanes, but you don't need it. The simulator, if you're doing the big jets between international airports, the Lufthansa charts can follow them, or you know, cover them. Sorry. So the EFB within the simulator has already got all the charts you'll ever need for the bigger airports. Navigraph has got a wider coverage, and it's a different style of chart. It's Jeppesen charts instead of the Lufthansa Systems charts. So it depends what you're used to, and I guess if you're flying in the real world and you want the same ones you use in the real world, then Jefferson is pretty much, you know, they're very widespread. If you're a commercial pilot and you're used to the Lufthansa charts, then you'll probably be quite happy with those ones. We're starting to get ice forming on the windows. This was always the risk with this little aeroplane doing this sort of route. So 15 minutes to go. Okay, so let's go for altitude hold. Autopilot back on. And let's go and pull the heading back around a little bit. Go for heading mode. And we're good to go. So, we can see here there's the indicator panel that autopilot is on, we're in heading mode and altitude hold mode, which is also broadly indicated down here as well. We could go nav mode. We're in GPS mode, so it will follow the track. We're not far off the track. If we were to bring the range down, not up, if we say nav, the aeroplane will go slightly left, I would imagine. So I've just said nav. It's in heading. This is interesting, look. So the track we're trying to follow, we're off to the right. We're not on an intercepting course. So 323 degrees is the actual course we're after doing, which was about there. I'm just going to press something. Now look at that. I've just pressed. I've got a keyboard key mapped to correct the directional gyro. In this aeroplane, the directional gyro drifts. So whenever you do steep turns, it loses track of which way is correct according to the magnetic compass. So I've got a keyboard key map that does that. I'll let you know what it is. Look, if we go to settings and controls, and if I go and click on my keyboard and search by input, and I put Control-Alt-Z, it's called Set Heading Indicator. And what it does is recalibrates directional gyros to the whiskey compass, or magnetic compass. So it recalibrates this. Interestingly, in this aeroplane, there is no knob to modify this, which is an oversight of the developers, I'm guessing. There should be a connector for it, or some way of slaving it to the GPS. So all I was getting at earlier though is, yeah, this is showing nav and heading because it's too far away from the course. So if we were to make the aeroplane turn left to cross the course on the GPS, it will go and switch to nav when it's close enough to the line. So obviously we're going to see the CDI, or course deviation indicator, get closer to us as we come back to the course. And when it gets there, you'll see this switch and go to nav and capture the track. There it goes. It's just done it, look. So it's close enough now that it's going to follow the track all on its own. And the ADS-B is working. So you can see there's other aeroplanes, look, around the airfield we're going to. So if we go and look, so Say Intentions has kicked in. Yeah, it's a busy airfield today, look. Oh my word, look at all that traffic. So, the airport we're going to, if we go show information on Haukasen, have they got a tower? No, they don't. So, Unicom 119305. So, we need to go and cancel Polaris flight following, don't we? Polaris Control, Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, terminating flight following.
Cessna X-Ray Golf Sierra, roger. Transponder VFR. You can leave the frequency. Have a nice flight.
So we're going to go to 1200, I believe it is, for VFR. And then we're going to go and reach in the radio to ATIS, oh not ATIS, Unicorn 119305. Unless this is saying something different. So CTUF is saying 12. Yeah, but that's for Goal Airport. Airport lookup. Let's go and choose other. What's the ICAO code? Haukasen. Echo November Sierra Golf. Search. $119,305. That's what we thought. That's good then. So 119,305. Switch to active, and we should hear the other traffic if they are broadcasting. And this also, Haukasen has ILS obviously, so it's looking like we're coming in ILS for runway 24, and that's certainly what the other aircraft are doing, look, that are in the area. So we want 108.1 and 233 degrees. So we'll get that ready before we get there. So switch over to do the VORs, 108.
Songdahl, White Arrow 7206, established on the ILS runway 24.
That's him.
Roger.
Songdahl, White Arrow 6021, established on the ILS runway 24.
That's him. We can hear them. Awesome.
1 roger.
White Arrow 56909 ready to taxi.
Widrow 56909er, runway 24 taxi at your discretion.
So we've tuned the radio to
Runway 24 taxi, our discretion, White Arrow 56909er.
108.1. We switch that to the active frequency. We'll switch the course to match the runway direction, which is 233 degrees. That's the heading bug. I don't want to do that. I actually want that to go the direction we're going, 233. So there's the runway. There's 24, 233 is about there. So that's the direction of the runway relative to us from our approach here. Control. It's drifted slightly again, look. It's a bit of a so-and-so today. So relative to our approach, look, the runway is almost at a right angle, which kind of makes sense with this look. Relative to the direction we're going, if you look at the little aeroplane, that's the direction of the runway relative to us. But obviously we're going to turn off right fairly soon to take us out towards the ILS. So if we imagine we're going to do that sort of thing. So 350 degrees or so, 347. So let's go heading mode and...
Songdahl, White Arrow 3262, ready for pushback.
White Arrow 3262, cleared for push and start.
Pushback and start approved, White Arrow 3262. Songdahl, White Arrow 7206, 4 mile final, runway 24.
White Arrow 7206, winds 060 at 4, runway 24, no reported traffic. Continue approach.
White Arrow 3262, ready to taxi.
White Arrow 3262, runway 24 taxi at your discretion.
Okay, so yeah, I really can't emphasize enough to people how good say intentions can be. And how much it gets you used to talking to air traffic services, it's very, very good. And the level of immersion it gives you, that there are other people in the air around you and they're all communicating on the radio properly, not just having a chat about the football or something. It's a different experience than if you're doing just a group flight with your friends. It's much more like the real world. So, and this has got a glide slope this time. So let's go and have a look. Does it tell us? Yeah, 4-degree glide slope. So it's quite steep to come into Haukasen. Can we get a chart of it in the sim? That would be quite interesting to try out, wouldn't it? So let's go and do a search for where is it again? ENSG, Echo November Sierra Golf. And this may be where this will fall down. So if we go look at runways or general Echo November Sierra Golf is shown up here. Here are the charts that we've got. And we're going to be coming in runway 24. So yeah, this is showing the wrong runways for Haukasen. So there are bugs in this, because these are not the runways for Haukasen. It's a shame, isn't it? And it's just, oh, if you flick it back and forth, look, it corrects itself.
Ready to taxi.
And look, it has no charts.
Widrow 5301, runway 24 taxi.
So the Lufthansa Systems has nothing for it.
Runway 24 taxi, our discretion, Widrow 5301.
Okay, so let's go and see if Navigraph has got anything for it. So if we go to flights, and this hasn't got the in-between points, so we're going to have to go and look it up here. Navigraph doesn't really support doing multi-leg routes like this. Each from airport to airport is a leg as far as it's concerned. Echo November Sierra Golf, wasn't it? Oh, that's only searching that. So go to airports. Echo November Sierra Golf. Haukasen, do we have anything in Navigraph for it? Yes, we do, look. We've got the ILS charts, so ILS for 24. So here's us coming up towards the track, 108.1, 233 degrees, and you can see all the rest of the notes. There's the glide slope, so they want us coming in at 6,000 feet, 11 miles out. We're going to be slightly sooner than that, and we're icing up. That's just wonderful. Do we get any cabin temperature controls in the Cessna? Whoops, I didn't mean to put the parking brake on. I don't think it's got any heating. Windshield anti-ice. Oh dear. There's no switch for it. We'll put the propeller on there, hey. Oh, we got defrost over here. We'll do that. Cabin heat, pull on. We're going to turn everything on, try and warm the aeroplane back up. Turn the lights on as well, even though there's not really much point to doing it. But okay, they were reversed. That's interesting. So, and it has worked. Look, it's defrosted. Okay. So somebody's asking in the live stream, John, why is the plane not following the plan? Is there anything I did wrong? Well, without sitting in the aeroplane with you, watching everything you've done, that's impossible to answer, I'm afraid.
Oh no, White Road 2415 established on the ILS runway 24.
2415,
Okay, so we don't need to be at 6,000, do we? And we're at 7.5, which is not super helpful. So looking at where we are, there's the water, there's the airfield, so we should see it. Why? Oh, there it is. I was looking over there thinking, where is it? There's the airfield, look. So what we're going to do is go manual, turn the autopilot off, and we'll just follow the ILS. So landing lights on.
Pushback approved.
Pushback and start approved. Wide road 2369er.
So there's the airfield, and we're a few miles out. 7.4 and closing. So there's the glide slope marker. Obviously this is the localizer. Haukasen traffic, Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra on approach runway 24 on the localizer.
Cessna Alpha, Sierra X-ray Golf. Sierra, Sogndal Airport, Haukasen. Info, wind 060 at 4. No reported traffic. Land at your discretion.
Landing at our discretion, Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra.
Ground wide 0714, taxi to the gate.
Wide 0714, taxi to parking via Alpha.
Alpha wide 0714.
Should we put ourselves a bit further forward in the cockpit? Sometimes the default positioning within the simulator is awful. And yeah, trying to put yourself in an appropriate place.
Caution!
The wind is kicking us around. Okay, we're going to have to backtrack. Traffic, Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra, backtracking runway 24 to the parking area.
Cessna X-ray Golf Sierra, no reported traffic. Backtrack at your discretion.
Let's go and park in front of the buildings. We are just sightseers, as it were. We're not doing proper commercial operations or anything. There's a lot of people stood at the front.
Runway 24.
It's just the authorities waiting for me for crimes against correct airmanship. Okay, as before, we're going to leave the engine running, so let's go and do this, and this, and this,
Approaching runway
and this.
24.
Okay, so if we press Shift and X, let's go and have a look around this airport. So this is Haukasen. And there's more here. Oh look, Say Intentions had a bit of a bad day with putting some aeroplanes in. Now this may be because the stock scenery is very different than the Orbx scenery. But yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Let's go and turn the speed down on the drone camera a little bit. Now, I've seen this a lot in the simulator. Some of the scenery developers, if you have weather, the weather happens not only on some of the internals, but sometimes on people's heads. So it's quite amusing. I wouldn't be sat outside in a t-shirt on weather like today. That's quite amusing. But yeah, sometimes you see the snow settling on people's heads and shoulders as well, which is always quite amusing. Anyway, there we go, there's Haukasen. So we are going to go and make our escape from here and carry on up towards the next airfield on our route. In fact, should we have a quick look at this to see? It'd be unfair just to show this in the snow, wouldn't it? Let's turn the live weather off and have another look. So again, the paintwork on the ground is really good, isn't it? And all the furniture around the airfield. Okay, so I'm going to cut this short at this point because I need to pop out. I'll carry on this maybe later today, I'm not sure, and we'll do the rest of the route from Haukasen to let's have a look at the names to get them right. Haukasen to Anda, Anda to Vigra. We'll do this as a second flight a bit later on because we've already been online for quite some time. So yeah, keep an eye out. I will be back at some point later to do the rest. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Take care.